Subconscious reprogramming for high performers, the secrets to becoming unfuckwithable. So let me ask you something straight out of the gate. How much of what you do each day do you actually control? The way you react when somebody challenges you or says something that you don't agree with. That voice that tells you to start scrolling instead of locking in and getting done what you know you need to get done to move that needle forward. The guilt that hits you after a win because you feel like you don't deserve it. Because most high performers think that they're consciously steering the ship, in control of the wheel, when the reality is the subconscious mind is the one holding the wheel and driving forward and directing you through life. Until you learn to reprogram it and take the time to reprogram it, you'll always be chasing a piece that you'll never actually be able to feel. So in this video, I'm breaking down exactly why subconscious reprogramming is the most powerful and accessible tool for high performers, and how using it consistently will make you unfuckwithable mentally, emotionally, and financially. And it's free. It's so accessible. It's unbelievable. This is the code of the high performers, because you're not broken. You've just been programmed in a way that's not fitting you to get to the next level. So let's start with this. You're not lazy, unmotivated, or even broken. You're just running a program that wasn't even written by you. Because everything that shaped your subconscious, your parents, your teachers, society and the culture around you, the trauma, the wins, the rejection, it's all built from a silent operating system that now runs 95% of your life on autopilot. So just think about that. 95% of your thoughts, reactions and habits are preloaded scripts. That's why most men can build a 6-figure business, get in shape and still feel empty and still feel shit, still feel like they're not good enough, because they've upgraded their lifestyle but never upgraded the code that runs it and decides how they feel about everything. So here's what happens when your conscious goals clash with your subconscious. Your subconscious always wins. That's why you can't just say, I want to be confident. But your subconscious says to you, remember that time that you got rejected in school, or remember that time that pretty woman turned you down or laughed at you when you tried to make a move to her, or I want to be rich. But your subconscious says, people like me don't make that kind of money. People from my background don't make that kind of money. I'm not deserving of wealth. I'm not good enough. These are common lies that we tell ourselves. And the subconscious doesn't care about your ambition. It only cares about familiarity and keeping you safe. It's addicted to what's known, even if what's known is misery and unhappiness, because it's familiar. But it's about learning to reprogram your subconscious. And this is what the high performance paradox is. Here is the paradox of high performance, should I say. We push harder, work smarter, achieve more. But inside, we feel like we're one bad day away from crumbling. And I'm sure you can relate to that. Every person I've worked with, I've coached CEOs, business owners, elite level athletes, parents, and they all say the same thing. I've achieved things that I thought would make me happy, but I still wake up sad, anxious, overwhelmed, wondering when it's all going to go wrong. Why? Because they're trying to outperform a subconscious belief that says that they're not enough or they don't deserve good things. So they build companies instead of building their confidence. They chase status instead of building self-trust. They build momentum externally because they've never learned to feel safe internally. But here's the truth. You're never going to outperform a negative self-image, because your external results will always return to the match of your internal thermostat that your subconscious has set. So if your subconscious believes that you're worth 100k a year, that's your ceiling. If it believes you're the guy who always burns out, that's the loop that you'll keep repeating. That's why success without subconscious alignment always ends in burnout, emptiness, or self-sabotage. And it's sad to see, because a lot of these men that come to work with me, they're top blokes and they're doing well already, but they just don't give themselves permission to feel it. But here's how subconscious programming actually works. So let's talk about how it actually works before we get into how you can do it. And no, it's not magic. Your subconscious learns through these 3 main channels. 1, repetition. 2, emotion. Number 3, environment. And when you combine those 3, you literally rewire the way that your brain fires. Every thought you repeat becomes a neural pathway. Every emotional experience becomes a subconscious association. And every environment you stay in reinforces the pattern. Now, if you spend years repeating thoughts like, I'm not enough, or I'm behind, or I'm never going to be good enough, and you surround yourself with stress, chaos, distraction, vices, drinking, drugs, you've just installed a program for anxiety and overwhelm. But the opposite is also true. You can build your subconscious, program it with empowering beliefs and an operating system that defaults back to peace, focus, power, and positive momentum by feeding it the right instructions every single day. That's what subconscious reprogramming really is. It's got a fancy name, but you're just replacing the background noise with a clear, aligned signal. And here's the best part: it doesn't require no fancy equipment, years of therapy, or even becoming spiritually perfect and enlightened. You can literally start doing it today. I record my affirmations, put some binaural beats over the back, and listen to it in my headphones when I walk. And here are a few tools that can change the game for you. There are two main paths for subconscious reprogramming. Number one is passive input, which is pre-recorded. Number two is active creation, which is recording your own pre-recorded affirmations, which is what I was just talking about. So let's break those down. First one, passive input. These are pre-recorded subconscious reprogramming audios. They're all over YouTube for free. Some focus on confidence, wealth, healing, inner peace, self-love, and you play them while you sleep, while you meditate, while you're working in the background, and they start to slowly override the patterns that runs your brain on autopilot. And it's like changing the background music of your mind. At first, it's subtle, but give it a few weeks and a few months, you start noticing shifts in the way you're thinking about situations, your initial reactions soften and start becoming more empowering instead of reactive. So you stop spiraling so fast, and you start believing things that used to feel impossible. Because your subconscious doesn't argue with you, it just accepts repetition as truth. So if you can repetitively force feed it beliefs that you want to believe, it'll sink in. So even if you're consciously skeptical, your subconscious message still lands. So if you want to take it even deeper, we can get into active creation, and that means recording your own. That's exactly what I've done. I took areas that are important to me around wealth, abundance, self-esteem, self-love, and I've recorded my own affirmations over binaural beats. And this is where the real transformation happens, because you're not just consuming somebody else's affirmations, you're speaking directly to your own subconscious in your own voice. So when I started recording mine, it was very, very awkward first. You feel like a freak sitting there saying things like, I am disciplined, I am enough, I am loved, I love myself, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I make money in my sleep, I make money when I'm awake. It feels so cringe if you've never done it before, but that's because your subconscious isn't used to you hearing you speak positive thoughts with such conviction. And the more you do it, the more it becomes your new baseline identity. I've literally seen men rebuild their self-worth, their relationships and their income from the inside out, and it's beautiful because they changed the script that their mind was running on. And when you change the script that the mind's running on, you get a different output completely. Change the input, you change the output. You're not just hypnotizing yourself, you're reminding yourself of who you actually are, because you know you want all these thoughts in your mind. So why it makes you unfuckwivable. So how does it make you unfuckwivable? It's simple. Because when you've reprogrammed your subconscious to align with your higher self, no external chaos could ever throw you off. So you stop chasing validation because you already feel worthy. You stop reacting to negativity because your identity isn't built on insecurity. So you stop needing to prove yourself because you've already become yourself. So when you're aligned, when you subconsciously reprogram yourself for empowering beliefs, you're aligned internally. Your emotions stop being your enemy and start being your compass and your own best friend. That's when life starts compounding on itself. One thing feeds to another, then your business grows because you're leading with certainty and you're powerful. Then your relationships deepen because you're grounded instead of reactive and overwhelmed and mardy. Your fitness, your focus, your discipline stop being forced and they become who you are because you love yourself and you've got respect for yourself. This is the difference between a burnt out overachiever and an unfuckwivable man with discipline and alignment, and I know which one I would rather be. So that's how you do it, but here's the science behind it. So I'm not just talking waffle. So for those who like the logic behind it, here's the science of how it really works. Because your subconscious mind operates primarily through the theta brainwave state. That's the same state that you're in during early childhood and just before you're falling asleep at night. So in that state, the mind's highly suggestible, which means any thought, belief, or image you feed it, it accepts it as reality. That's why reprogramming works best when you do it before bed or when you do it immediately on waking in the morning, because your mind's in that right frequency, that right state to really absorb it. Because that's when your analytical, logical brain is offline and your subconscious mind is wide open. So combine that with the emotional charge and the repetition, and you're literally beginning to rewire your neural pathways, and it's neural plasticity. The brain's ability to reorganize itself doesn't stop at 25 like society makes you believe. You can change your entire self-concept in months. That's not wishful thinking, that's neuroscience, and it's proved. After this video, go do some research on it. Download the alignment blueprint first, of course. But here's the high performance protocol. So if you want to integrate this into your life, here's a simple 3-step structure that I use with my private clients. Step number 1, identify the loop. What's the pattern that you keep repeating in your life that always holds you back and pulls you back? Maybe it's that I always fall off when I'm winning. I always self-sabotage, or I attract betrayal and chaos, or I never feel content or good enough. Write it down, get real with it. Step number 2 is rewrite the script, flip it. Turn that negative, disempowering statement into the identity and the empowering statement that you actually want to live by. That is, I'm consistent even under pressure. I keep compounding that growth. I attract calm and clarity and amazing people who provide value to my life, and vice versa. I feel fulfilled from progress, not perfection. Step number 3, record and repeat. Use your phone's voice recorder. Record in these new statements in your voice. Layer them with some binaural beats or some calming music if you want. Then listen to them as you fall asleep, during your morning routine, on the walks or on gym sessions, or when you're going on the treadmill, or even when you're doing some work that you can have on in the background. Program it while you work. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because within 21 to 30 days, you start noticing micro shifts, less resistance, faster recovery, deeper focus, and by 90 days, it starts to become your new identity. This is the foundation of becoming aligned. Because when your subconscious beliefs and your conscious goals are in sync, your progress starts to compound on itself exponentially, because one thing feeds into the other, which feeds back into that, which helps you grow in this area, which helps you believe more in yourself. And it's one thing to another. Because here's my own experience. When I first started doing this, I thought it was a bit woo-woo. But here's what I realised. My logical brain was the exact reason that I needed it, because I built businesses, I'd transformed my body, I'd won fights, won boxing titles, done loads of things that I used to think I'd be amazingly proud of, and I still woke up with that quiet voice, or not so quiet voice, saying that you're still not enough, you'll never be enough. No external win can silence an internal wound. Let me say it again. No external silence can fix an internal wound. And it wasn't until I started feeding my subconscious with aligned beliefs daily that everything started to click. Because I stopped chasing highs and I started creating peace. I didn't need to force discipline, it just became natural. And ironically, that's when everything started compounding. The money, the fitness, the relationships, the networking, the business relationships, clarity. Sorry, because I wasn't fighting myself anymore. That's the power of subconscious reprogramming. And it feeds into your life in ways that you would expect, and then beautiful ways that you would never expect. But here's how this ties into alignment, because you know I'm Mr. Alignment. Subconscious reprogramming is the foundation of alignment, because it isn't just about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world, society, and the people around you programmed you. Because when your mindset, your movement, and your money all align with that truth, you become dangerous in the best way possible. Calm, certain, grounded, unfuckwithable. And that's exactly why I built the alignment blueprint in the first place. It's not just a system to help high performers feel better. It's the framework to rebuild your inner operating system from the ground up and truly become unfuckwithable. Getting aligned across the 3M, mindset, movement, money, and they all feed into each other. Because you can't build an elite life with a self-sabotaging subconscious. So we rebuild that code step by step, day by day, brick by brick, until you're running off peace, power, and purpose. And that's the beautiful thing. And this alignment blueprint, it's free. The link's in the description. Go download it. It's changed my life. It's changed so many lives. Because here's the final truth. Your subconscious has been programmed your entire life, either by accident or by intention. And from this day on, it's going to be by intention. So every belief you've ever absorbed is still in there, shaping how you think, speak, and how you move. So the question isn't whether you're being programmed. The question is who's doing the programming. Because when you take control of that process, you stop being reactive. You stop being so lost in the noise. You start designing your internal reality. Flip it. You start designing your internal reality to match your external vision. That's when alignment hits. That's when your energy becomes magnetic. When life stops feeling like a fight. Because you don't need to become somebody new. You just need to unlearn who you're not and start feeding your subconscious something worth believing in, empowering beliefs. So you hype yourself up every day. You believe in your ability to win. You back that ability. You back that belief with actions that make it reality. So your soul finally becomes unfuckwithable. So before I leave you at the end of this video, if you want to go deeper into this work, download the alignment blueprint. It's free. The link's in the description. It's the exact system I use with all my high performing clients to realign their mindset, their movement and their money. The link's in the bio, or comment a line on the video and I'll send it through. Because when you stop drifting and start programming with intention, everything changes. So I'll see you in the next video, but don't you dare click on the next video until you've gone and downloaded the alignment blueprint. I'll see you then.